It looks like we have 10 questions Allie needs to ask. We'll start over. What's the difference you saw when you were a child to now?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure a whole lot has, huh?
Everything has changed. I mean, really.
Right.
Go to the next one.
What is your first or best childhood memory? No, you're fine. Wake up Christmas morning.
Waking up Christmas morning and find I was 9 years old and I had a brand new bicycle and a large baby doll.
Do you remember what kind of bicycle it was? Do you remember the bicycle brand that you had as a kid back then? I wonder if they're still even in business anymore. You were in England then, right?
Yeah.
So you were born in 1927, 1930.
I'd be
8?
And they're 36.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. I'm surprised.
Very long time.
All right. Next question, number 3. How did you entertain yourself as a child?
I read an awful lot.
Of books?
Books, yeah.
Do you have a favorite author or a favorite book as a kid?
Oh, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse's?
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. How was your family structure? How were you raised?
Parents and brother and sister.
Well, I also think you were raised a lot different than we were. I mean, if I remember as a kid, I remember my mom always saying that you guys set the tables and everything. That's not really common nowadays. I feel like you were raised a lot more proper.
Oh yeah, I mean we all, like today seems like
families hardly even sit at tables.
They would sit and eat wherever they wanted. We had set hours for breakfast, lunch, and our tea time. Tea called it.
Tea time. What time was tea time?
Well, that was like tonight. Today, I think you'd call it supper or something.
Okay. Question number 5.
Uh-huh.
How did your parents parent you? What was your role in the house? Like, how did they discipline you? I don't really know.
Probably.
What was your role in the house, I guess? Were you
sent to my room?
Were you the baby in the family?
No, I was the eldest.
The eldest, so you probably had a lot more responsibilities.
Yeah.
And stuff. Hopefully that answers the question for her. Number 6 says, how? Well, I guess that kind of answered. I think we kind of answered number 6 and number 5. It says, how were you punished when you got in trouble?
Yeah,
so we answered that. Yeah. So number 7 is, what was school like? Example, how was you taught, punished in classes? Examples. Did you guys have like detentions?
Cane.
Or you guys were able to hit each other back then, right? Were the teachers able to hit you back then?
Yes, they with a cane. You held out your hand. Yeah, and it could be very painful.
That's what I heard. I kind of wish we did it nowadays sometimes.
Well,
these kids would learn a lot probably.
Well, I would think the thin cane wouldn't hurt as much as the heavy cane, but the thin cane hurt a lot worse.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you can whip it a lot more speed with it.
Yes.
All right. Number 8. What was the culture like around this time? Example: dating, clothes, music, friendship. Did they have cars, jobs?
Very few working people had cars back then.
Okay.
And then, of course, it was wartime, and that made it worse because if you did have a car, petrol, as they called it, was rationed. Everything was rationed. Yeah.
The petrol is like the gas, you mean, right? Like the stuff they use to put in the cars, or what is petrol?
Gasoline.
Gasoline, okay, that's what I thought you meant by
and
that.
then...
And that's World War I you're talking about, or World War II?
Give me a break. I'm not quite that old.
I forget when...
I'm sorry. World War II.
World War II? That's... So it's always good to hear your voice, too. And
Oh, nice.
But Number 9 here is, what was like finding a job like? Did you ever work besides the military?
Yeah,
I know you foster a lot of children and stuff. When you came, I know you fostered children and stuff when you later on.
Here. Oh yeah, I was a lot older then. I helped take care of children
over there too.
For money. I mean, I was only a child myself.
Right,
really.
Basically like babysitting as kids do nowadays.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets? It's number 10.
Do I have any regrets? You know, I think everyone has some regrets in their life.
Yeah, at least one or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you actually want to speak on and want her to? Any advice for her? I guess for regrets that you think it's good for her to know, or just?
Like I said, I think everyone has some regrets in their life.
Right.
It's like that old saying, if I could be this old and know all the things that, you know, like there's things you don't know when you're younger, and then I think I still, of course my eyesight, but I still like to read, and
I think see that.
Yeah, and I think I think we all kind of feel if we would have known this when we were younger, it would have been
beneficial.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, so knowing certain things, so could have changed your decisions about certain other things. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, but yeah, you used to get into what ifs and stuff.
And today I don't think a lot of even the older people could live like we did years and years ago with no indoor plumbing.
Oh, right. I didn't even think about that. Like, you didn't have indoor
outside toilets.
Yeah, back then, it's totally different than.
And my parents never had any electricity until probably in the early '60s.
Whew.
Yeah.
Huh.
My mother washed on a scrub board.
That's crazy.
We had a built-in boiler. You poured the water in there and you had it come to a boil, and a lot of the clothes, like the bedding, that all got boiled and hung out on the line.
What if it was cold out the whole time?
Well, and you had it in what we call the back kitchen. You had lines put up, and it was awful because it would be cold and rainy out, and
then probably smelled like food.
And then all those wet clothes. You know, sometimes I look back and I think, how in the world did we live like that? But when you don't know any different, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn if you did, damn if you don't. You just trying to do what you thought was best at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And then we found out there's other ways to do it.
and cook on a coal fire.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
We never had
hot fires.
No, I'm speaking from myself, my family, because we lived out in the country.
Okay.
And we didn't have a stove. You cooked on the coal fire, and there was
Are you saying coal fire or cold? Oh, you were saying cold fire.
No,
I'm thinking, how do you have a cold fire?
No, coal.
Okay.
Attached to it was an oven on one side, and on the other side there was a small boiler, and the water, you'd heat that to get washed, and we'd have a bath on a Saturday night.
One bath a week?
Every week, yeah.
Let me, I guess, turn this off here. I think we answered all the questions.
Yes.
And I think it was a great little interview question of you.